How are you today, Georgia? I am a Professor Jeon of Korea Maritime and Ocean University. I am pleased to talk about the maritime education and training system in the Republic of Korea. Topics that I'm going to touch upon are statistics for seafarers in Korea, relevant Korean laws and regulations, education and training policy, outline of education system in Korea, certificates of competency, examination system, measures on quality standards, approval of education and training. First topic is related to statistics for seafarers employed by Korean shipping companies. In the year 2000, the total number of Korean seafarers was about 52,000. Since then, the total number has been decreasing continuously. This is because of the continual decrease of ratings. In the case of officers, the number has been stable. Turning now to the number of foreign seafarers employed by Korean ship owners. The number of foreign seafarers had been increasing sharply from 2000 till 2015. However, it slowed down since then. Korean ship owners are employing about 27,000 foreign seafarers recently. The number will be increased in the future. This table shows a more detailed statistics of foreign seafarers employed by Korean ship owners. The ship owners of ocean-going ships employ about 12,000, and fishing vessel owners of coastal near ocean fishing vessels employ about 9,800. And Korean ship owners employ mostly Indonesians, Filipino, Vietnamese, and Myanmarese. This table shows the list of countries that undertakings have been agreed to recognize the certificates in accordance with Regulation 1/10 of the STCW Convention as amended. The number of undertakings agreed so far is 40. In the case of Georgia, the undertaking was agreed in February 2015, about 6 years ago. Kind of undertaking was bilateral for the case of Georgia. Talking on two major laws relating to seafarers in this country, firstly, Ship Officers Act stipulates the matters concerning the qualification, the kind of license, etc. of a person who wishes to become a ship owner on board. The Ship Officers Act covers areas such as certification system of ship officers examination system, education and training and recognized education and training institutes, manning standards, assessment and standards of quality standard system. Under the Ship Officers Act, there are enforcement decree, enforcement ordinance, standards on RETIs, rules on training record book, the quality standards, etc. Secondly, Seafarers Act stipulates the matters concerning duties, discipline, conditions of engagement, job security, education and training of seafarers. Seafarers Act covers areas such as duties and power of master, maintaining discipline on board, contract of engagement, wages, hours of work and rest, manning scale, paid holiday, meals, personal safety and health, protection of young seafarers and women seafarers, accident compensation, job security and training, watchkeeping, rules of employment, control, etc. Regarding education and training policy in Korea, two ministries are involved. The education and training policy of the Ministry of Education are to enable every citizen to live a life worthy of human to contribute to the development of a democratic country and realization of an ideal of human co-prosperity. On the other hand, maritime education and training policy of Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries are to provide timely education and training to meet manpower needs and re-education to promote safe and efficient operation of the vessels. Last but not least, encourage all RETIs to meet quality standards. This slide shows the general education system in the Republic of Korea. General education starts at the age of 7, and then 9 years of schooling up to middle school is mandatory in Korea. Most of the graduates of a middle school enter into a high school, which is 3 years course, and a good many continues his or her studies at junior college, which is 2 years course, or university, which is 4 years course. It is a general tendency that most of parents send their kids kindergarten because they want their kids to take early education. Nautical high school is a 3 years course, and Maritime University is 4 years course. This slide shows the maritime education and training system in the Republic of Korea. The education and training for both maritime and fisheries field systemized high school course of 3 years and university course of 4 years. And to enter into high school and university, the completion of 9 years and 12 years general education respectively is essential. Upon graduating a maritime high school, they can obtain Class 4 certificates of competency. And for university graduate, they can obtain Class 3 certificate of competency. After that, they can get higher certificates when they meet minimum period of approved seagoing service and have passed exams. For the case of Class 1 certificates, a candidate needs to undergo a compulsory refresher course. Maritime universities are also running postgraduate programs of master's and PhD courses. Regarding cadet courses, there are 3 kinds of courses, namely training courses for officers in charge of navigational watch, training courses for officers in charge of engineering watch, and training courses for operating officers in operational level. First, training courses for officers in charge of navigational watch. The minimum period of training program for deck officers shall be 3 years, including 1 year of onboard training, which meets the requirements of Section A2/1 of the STCW Convention and is documented in an approved training record book. During the above onboard training, bridge watchkeeping duties must be performed under the supervision of the masters or a qualified officers for a period of not less than 6 months. Second, the training courses for officers in charge of engineering watch. The minimum period of training program for engineer officers shall be 3 years, including the onboard training for a period of not less than 6 months, which meets the requirements of Section A3(1) of the Convention, as is documented in an approved training record book. Third, the training courses for operating officers in operational level. The minimum period of training program for operating officers shall be 3.5 years, including 1 year of onboard training, which meets the requirements of Section A2/1 and A3/1 of the Convention and is documented in an approved training record book. During the above onboard training, bridge watchkeeping duties must be performed under the supervision of masters or a qualified officers for a period of not less than 6 months, and practical training in engineering department under the supervision of a qualified engineer officer for a period of not less than 6 months. However, the training courses for operating officers have not been running since 2000. Turning to a certificate of competency, there are in Korea 6 classes of certificate for deck officers and engineer officers, 4 classes for radio officer, 4 classes for operating officer, and 1 class for small vessel operator, 2 classes for wing-in ground effect craft operators. Each deck officer certificate from 1st to 6th class is further divided into 2, i.e., the certificate for merchant ships only and the same for fishing vessel only. And each class of radio officer certificate is divided into certificates for radiographic officers and electronic officers. Every class of the operating officer certificates which aims to permit to serve on board an automated vessel may be measuring field of either deck or engineering. Small vessel operators certificates are for ships of 25 gross tonnage or less. Regarding wing-in ground craft operator certificates, a small wig operator certificate is for wig craft of 10 maximum takeoff weight tons or less, and the medium wig operator certificate is for wig craft of between 10 tons and 500 tons. Electrotechnical officer certificates was introduced recently in order to implement the Manila Amendment to the STCW Convention. Talking on the examination system, the national examination was entrusted to the Korean Institute of Maritime and Fisheries Technology, in short, KIMFT. Therefore, exams for Certificate of Competency are carried out by the KIMFT. There are 4 periodical exams per year, and temporary exams are also conducted as necessary, which are sort of computer-based tests. The method of exams are as follows. Deck, engineer, and operating officer certificate exams consist of written and oral exams. For radio certificates, exams consist of written and oral under radio regulation and oral exam under Ship Officers Act. For small vessel operator certificates, exams consist of written, oral, or practical test. Wig craft operator certificate exams consist of written and oral. Electrotechnical officer certificate exam consists of written. Qualifying standards for passing the examinations are as follows. For written exams, qualifying standards is average 60% and minimum 40% for each subject. For oral exams, qualifying standards is average 60%. Turning now to the measures on quality standards system in the ROK. Quality standards was legislated under the decree of the Ship Officers Act for establishing quality evaluation and quality management system. Quality management system is applicable to RETIs, examination and assessment body, certification body. Quality standard is also applicable to the fisheries education and training institutes in Korea. Medical certification is controlled under the medical law, which provides quality assurance system for medical institute. Main contents of quality standard system can be summarized as follows. Regarding internal evaluation system, periodical evaluations are conducted every 5 years, and unscheduled temporary evaluations are also be carried out by entity concerned. External evaluations are carried out every 5 years by independent evaluation team on behalf of the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries. The quality standard system includes re-evaluation system and the control system of non-conformities. In order to ensure efficient and fair external evaluations, the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries established an operating committee for quality evaluations, which is composed of the quality evaluation expert. When any external evaluation is conducted for the Maritime Education and Training Institutes, the external evaluation team uses this table. I would not attempt to explain this table in detail. The evaluation areas consist of 5 areas, and the number of evaluation items is 26. In respect of approval of Education and Training Institute, there are administrative procedures to be appointed. As an RETI, an applicant shall submit an application together with following documents to the minister. The first, history, organization, and management plan of the institute concerned. Second, training facilities and equipment, status of training vessels, period of and plans of training, the personal records and qualification of teaching and administrative staff, teaching subject and hours of teaching staff, maximum number of each training course, qualification for the admission and teaching subject and hours, budget details of the institute concerned, the statutes of the institute. This is only applicable to a cooperative body. The minister, upon receiving and considering and scrutinizing applications, shall issue the letter of appointment of the RETI when he or she considers it necessary to appoint as an RETI, taking account of the supply and demand policy on seafarers, training facilities, and courses of the institute concerned, etc. However, such appointment may be cancelled by the minister in case where the institute has violated the conditions of appointment or the institute has not implemented the appropriate corrective actions requested and given by the minister, resulting from the independent evaluations, or where the act, the enforcement decree, or enforcement ordinance is violated. With respect to training facilities, a great majority of maritime education and training institutes are equipped with sophisticated training equipment such as ship handling simulator, engine room simulator, GMDSS simulator, radar and alpha simulator, ACTIS simulator, cargo handling simulator, etc. Maritime Education and Training Institute are also running ship training for onboard training for cadets. 7 training ships are operated by Korean Maritime and Education Training Institute. Finally, I would like to summarize brief introduction to the maritime education and training system in the Republic of Korea. First, I have covered statistics for seafarers and the maritime education and certification system in Korea. Second, I have also covered the quality standard system, and proper investment is essential to ensure the quality standards of maritime education and training. Third, the maritime education and training has been running with a government budget in the ROK since 1945. This positive and essential investment has been one of the key contributors to the rapid development of Korean shipping industry. Korea is now one of Big Five leading maritime nations in terms of cargo carrying capacity. Last but not least, in order to ensure the sustainability of shipping industry, the importance of maritime education and training continue to be emphasized. Thank you.